Hello, this is Yogeshwar 7000 again, and I'm back with my continuation on stories from the Puranas. And today we'll be talking about another interesting story, and this time it will be the story of the birth of the son of the planet Mercury, okay, or in Sanskrit he's called Budha, and the name of the son of the planet Mercury is Pururav. Okay, Pururava. Some people can call it because when we say Krishna, it comes as Krishna. When we say Ram, it comes as Rama. So the name in Sanskrit is Pururva, but you can call it Pururva, whatever suits you. Okay, so you'll be surprised to know that there is a character, a personality, a divine personality rather, whose name is Pururva, and he's the son of the planet Mercury. Now, we've already studied, or we've already gone through in one of our previous videos as to how the planet Mercury was born. And people who have not watched that, I would recommend please go and refer to that video. The planet Mercury was born out of the union of the planet Moon and the planet Jupiter's wife. Okay, so that's another story how Jupiter, or Brahaspati, or Guru as he's called in Sanskrit, his wife got involved with the planet Moon, and then she started living with him, and then out of their union the planet Mercury was born. And then there was a whole lot of confusion and almost a war like situation between Jupiter and Moon. But it's just how it is. Mercury is the son of the wife of Jupiter and Moon, and this was not a legitimate union, but this is how it is. So anyways, so today we'll be talking about son of Mercury, whose name is Pururva, and how he was born. So the story goes like this, and this is of course coming directly from the Puranas, so I will recommend you to have firm faith and belief in it. Please do that. This is not some kind of a fiction. So in olden Vedic times, there was a king whose name was Suddhamna. Okay, and he was a very capable king and extremely truthful. And once he went out to hunt in a forest. Okay, like all kings do. And he was he had a few ministers with him, and while he was in the forest he was able to get his his booty of his hunt, in form of various animals, bisons, buffaloes, elephants, deer, all kinds of animals. And of course, um, you're going to ask me, well, if he was a Hindu, how come he was killing animals? Well, he was getting those animals for sacrificial purposes. They were, as per the Hindu scriptures, there is a provision, or killing of animals is allowed as long as they are used for a sacrifice towards gods. But we're not getting into that discussion today. So while he was coming back with his hunt, he went deep into the interior of the forest. And this forest seemed extremely, extremely divine. It was uh, having a lot of trees and flowers, and there were all kind of creepers, Ashoka creepers. There are various names for those plants and creepers and trees, which are described in the Puranas as Bakula, Sal, Tal, Champak, mangoes, even pomegranate, coconut trees. So it was seemed like a very divine forest and extremely, extremely beautiful. So he was pretty attracted, and there were tanks and reservoirs of water in the forest, and they had swans and other kinds of birds near those water reservoirs. And then there were bamboo trees. So there's a lot of explanation which has been given in the ancient Puranas as to how divine and beautiful that forest was, in which the king actually went inside. Sudyamna went inside and started to, kind of like it. Uh, so he began to think, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And all of a sudden, while he was enjoying the beauty of the forest, he was turned into a female, from a man into a female. Can you imagine that? He turned from a man into a female. And his horse, which is a male horse obviously, turned into a mare. And he was extremely, ashamed of his situation, and he didn't know what to do. And Sadyamna was a very powerful king, and now he has been turned into a woman. And this is very strange. So then the ancient scriptures and the Puranas go on to describe as why this happened. This happened because once a few rishis went into this forest to pay a visit to Lord Shankara, okay, Lord Shiva, or Bhagwan Shankara as he's called. And at that time, Shankara was in awkward situation, kind of a union-like situation with his wife Shankari, who's been described in the ancient scriptures here as Devi Ambika. So when Devi Ambika saw the rishis and the sages visiting them, and she was in this situation with her husband, Lord Shankara, or Shiva. Shankara is another name for Lord Shiva. She, immediately dressed her up completely, but she was very sensitive to this. And when the rishis saw that themselves, they also left immediately because they were not expecting this kind of a situation. Then Lord Shankara, looking at Shankari, his consort, said, "Why are you so, shy? I mean, okay, let me do something for you which will make you feel, somewhat better." And he said that I'm going to put some kind of a, not a curse rather, but some kind of a spell on this forest, that whoever enters, from this day onwards, whoever enters this part of the forest will instantly be converted into a woman. Okay, so that's the story why the great powerful king Sudyamna got turned into a woman. Okay, so now the king, now he was already turned into a woman. He was he was very ashamed to go in this situation back to his kingdom. So out of shame, he decided to stay in the forest. Okay, and then in his woman form, he started to be known as the woman Ila. Okay, so at one point, the planet Mercury, or Budha as he's called, he was wandering in this wheel, came up. And by the way, Ila had left this part of the forest where people would become a woman to the outskirts of the forest. Okay, so she was in the safe area. And the planet Mercury came wandering there, or Buddha, you can call the planet Mercury as, came wandering there. And as soon as he saw the beautiful woman Ila, he immediately became smitten with her beauty. And also Ila, who was actually not Ila but was converted into a woman as Ila, he was actually the king Sudyamna, also became attracted to the planet Mercury. Okay, and then there was a union between Buddha, who's the son of moon, of course we know that, and the beautiful Ila, who was actually the king turned into a woman. And then based on their union, Ila gave birth to a son called Pururva. Okay, so the son of Buddha or Mercury is Pururva. A lot of people don't know about this, but the Puranas very clearly explain about the son Pururva, which is the son of the planet Mercury. Okay, and then um, the Rishi Vashishtha, as we know, he's also a character from the ancient Puranas, and of course, it's not a fictional character, it's a true character, saw the distressed condition of the king Sudimna, who had actually become Ila, and he started to pray to Lord Shankara. And he said, well, please do something. This great king, very powerful king, Sudyamna, has turned into a woman, and now he, came in union with the planet Mercury, and now they have a son as well. He's in a very difficult situation. So, can you help him? Can you change the king back into a man as he was before? So, on this, Lord Shankara, once again, Shankara is another name for Shiva, said that, okay, well, I cannot convert him back into a man now, but I can give him a boon that he would be a man for 1 month, and for another month, he would be a woman. That's the best I can do. So, the Rishi Vashishtha accepted that boon, and based on this, Sudamna returned back to his kingdom as a man. But the problem was he would stay as a man for 1 month and stay as a woman for another month. And while he was in the form of a woman, he would not come out to the view of the public or his subjects, or people whom he ruled over in his kingdom. So the subjects had all kinds of doubts in their minds, but they weren't too sure, and they kind of did not give him that warmth, that welcome which they used to give King Sudyamna as earlier when he was a normal person as a man. But then days passed, and then the son, the prince Pururva, who came out of the wedlock or the union of the planet Moon and Ila, which was the female form of Sudyamna, grew up and he became a man. And then once he became a man, King Sudyamna, his father, said, okay, Pururva, you take the kingdom, you rule the kingdom, you are the king from now onwards, and I am going to go to the forests, and I'll have a small ashram there, and I'll perform tapasya or severe austerities. So he went to a nice, beautiful forest, another forest, with all kinds of trees, and he started to pray to the supreme goddess, or the Devi, okay, or she's been described as Bhagavati in Sanskrit in the ancient Puranas. So he started to pray to the Devi, and he got a mantra from sage Narada, or Narad as he's called in Sanskrit. So sage Narad gave him a nice mantra of the Devi, or the supreme goddess, or the Bhagavati Devi, whichever way you may want to call her. And he started to meditate on that mantra and repeat that mantra. And then after a few days, or a few months, after a few, who knows, after a little time, then the Devi Bhagavati, or the supreme goddess, appeared before the king in her beautiful divine forms, and sitting on her vehicle, the lion. As we know, the Devi's vehicle on which she seats herself is the lion. So she appeared before the king, Sudamna. And as soon as the king Sudamna saw the divine form of the mother of the universe, the king was in the Ila form at that time. He was in the female form at that time. And then he bowed down in front of her, and he said, I have seen this beautiful form of yours. And he requested the Devi that please accept me. And as soon as he as soon as he prayed to her in front of her divine form. And there's a whole detail of how much he prayed and how much he praised her, which cannot be covered in this video. It's a whole few descriptions. And once he prayed the Devi, or the goddess in this form, in his actually female form as Ila, then the Devi, or the supreme goddess, became extremely happy. And then what she did is that she took that form, that female form of King Sudyumna, and she made that female Ila form come in union with her divine form. So the king Sudyumna, who was in this female form, got a place to reside in the Devi's divine form. So he kind of became a part of the Devi. Okay. And of course, you know, as per the Hindu scriptures, when somebody becomes a part of the divine, he gets moksha, the highest place he can attain. So this way, King Sudyumna, because of the mantra given to him by this great sage Narad, invoked the goddess and actually entered her divine form and attained moksha, or the final liberation. But then this story is about how King Sudyumna, in the female form as Ila, had a son, Pururva, with the planet Moon. And in our forthcoming videos, we are going to discuss about the stories of King Pururva. And at the moment, we will just, stop this story, which was of King Sudyumna, the father of Pururva. There are other stories which are related to the son of Mercury, who had now become King Pururva, because he inherited this kingdom from his father, King Sudyumna. So hopefully you did enjoy this video from the ancient Puranas. And in the meanwhile, I will recommend subscribe to my channel. Check out my website. There is a link below. And I will see you with an interesting topic on either Vedic astrology or stories from the Puranas very soon. Goodbye.